Hey, Taylor Elwood here, and welcome to the Men's Mysteries podcast. It's been a little while since I've recorded one of these. I've been busy the last couple weeks integrating the recent experience I had around the deer hitting my car and surrendering really to just so many different things. It's been profound, and there's going to be a lot of work coming out of that. Yesterday, I wrote a post about success. It was prompted by reading an essay by Damon Mitchell. You can see the essay that I wrote below this post here because I'm going to link to it. Um, but then it got me thinking even further about success when someone responded to it and said, I feel like my standards for success are always changing. Like, as a man, things are always changing around success. Boy, did that land with me. I responded to the man, and I said, you know, I shared, not I'm not speaking for you, but here's my experience around this. And then I asked him, what do you think of that? Does that land with you at all? Because I was just really curious. But I thought, when I would talk about what I answered, my answer. So essentially, my answer to him was that I felt like success was this performative standard. It's been applied to men and really just in general. Like we have this notion as to what success looks like. And it's this performative standard of transformation and change that a lot of times we're doing because we're trying to impress something or someone. I mean, I can speak to the fact that in my life for a long time, I was performing, I was in this conflict with my dad, essentially, trying to perform and be like, I'm finally good enough for you. I'm finally not the disappointment that you think I am. Because that's the message I was carrying with me for so much of my life. Or and it wasn't just with him, it was really with other people. I mean, my stepmom, for example, my mom. Yes, parents all around, because let's be honest here, our parents, whether they mean to or not, end up wounding us a lot of the time. And then we end up performing and we're trying to somehow get their love, their approval, or whatever. But I mean, I can even think of like ex-girlfriends that I was with, or, um, different people that I met over the years where they said something, they made fun of me, they did something else. And there was this part of me that was like, I'm going to show you that you were wrong about me, and I'm going to bury your face into it and make you basically acknowledge that I'm better than what you thought. Talk about a dysfunctional pattern. It wasn't healthy. It never was. And I can even point you to where I got it from, but it doesn't really much matter. I've done the work around it. I recognize it for what it is. It's not the way that I operate anymore. And in the rare moments where I do catch myself starting to operate that way, I start tapping or I do other things. And I'm going to be sharing some really useful information around this down the line. But I do some other practices that help me get out of that particular space, because I realize at that point that what I'm really doing is I'm reacting to that old wound that I have around my dad. I'm not, even if the person did essentially say or do something along those lines, and I'm not saying they didn't, because sometimes they have. It's like, who am I really responding to here? I'm not even responding, I'm reacting, because response would at least be a choice. I'd have a choice in the matter. And let's be honest here, when I'm reacting, I do have a choice. It's just that the choice that I'm making is I'm choosing to be a victim of my own patterns of behavior, my own beliefs, my wounding, everything else. And then I'm reacting to the world and saying, like, I'm going to show you. How many men have done that over the years? I know I've done it. I can safely say that there are probably a number of men out there who've done it. People in general. But the I'll show you mentality is really just a response to your own wounding. It's a reaction. And so as a result, what ends up happening is you're reacting to the world around you, trying to chase after something that's going to get you what? A pat on the head, an attaboy in the back. And it doesn't matter. Even when you get that pat on the head or that attaboy, it doesn't do anything for you. Or it might make you temporarily feel a moment of satisfaction, and then you're right back to being in that place of I'm not good enough. I say that from experience, but I think that this applies to men in general. We get into this place where we're like, I want that attaboy, I want that approval, I want to finally feel like I measure up. And this is why the measure of success is so toxic in a way. It's an example of immature masculinity. Maybe really, I should say immature personhood. Let's take the masculinity out of it, because this does apply to other people. It's not like I haven't met women over the years or people who have identified another way that have had that kind of behavior. And a lot of times when I find myself engaged in that feeling of like I need to achieve this standard of success, or I need this person to acknowledge me or whatever else, what am I really doing? I'm giving away my power, my presence to that person. And I'm trying to control that person at the same time. It's like I put my hands on the steering wheel and I'm trying to control the person, trying to get to an outcome that makes me feel good. But that control is illusory at best. Even if I do get an attaboy out of that person in the moment, it doesn't really matter. Now, this is going to land in a way that might feel hard for some people. Like, this is a hard truth that I'm sharing here. And yet this is kind of the reality that we as people need to face. Certainly as men, we need to face this. That when we get caught up in performative standards of success, societal ones, familial ones, anything else along those lines, what we're really doing is we're really just trying to negotiate toward an experience of control where we feel we finally can say, okay, I've finally been validated. I can finally say that I am good enough. And it never works. If it worked, we wouldn't be doing this work. So let that, just take that in for a moment. If you're having a response right now to what I'm sharing, take that in and know that the response that you're having is a reasonable response to something within yourself. It's something that's landing within you. It's not about me. I mean, there may be kind of like, oh, that guy, like, what is he talking about? Or it might be whatever else. But like, let put that aside for a moment. Really let this land with you. Because we need to recognize that we've basically been put into a scenario where we're chasing after success. And we have a choice. We can choose. We can choose to stop chasing after success, whatever that might be, and actually start being with ourselves and making the choice to say, like, what is it I really want? What does it mean for me to get what I want? And let me be clear here that when I talk about success, success can come in many different forms. Success could be creative success, like writing a book. Success could be making a certain amount of money. Success could be being great in bed, or having like a really loving relationship. Success can be many different things. And some of those things are wonderful to experience and have. But if they don't fill up your cup, if you're coming away just feeling like that vague sense of dissatisfaction and unease and discomfort, you're not addressing what's really going on. And that success, and I'm going to put it in air quotes here, won't last. It'll go away. I say this from experience. I've written over 50 books. I'm not saying that as a boast. I'm saying that as an example. Every time I wrote a book, I would feel a moment of accomplishment, and then it would go away. I never fully appreciated the fact that I'd written that, like just that given book, whatever it was, in that moment. Like I didn't fully appreciate it. I didn't let it fully land in my system and be like, wow, that's something that I accomplished, and I'm proud of myself for that. I didn't say I was proud of myself. That was like the huge thing. I didn't say I was proud of myself. I didn't recognize or witness myself. And if other people witnessed me, that didn't matter. They could witness me, and it wasn't enough. And that's why I think of success as a four-letter word, because it's like this performative standard we're pitted against. And a lot of times what we're really pitted against is these old familial patterns, these societal patterns, all these other things that say you have to be a certain way in order to be considered successful, or you have to be a certain way to be considered a man, or whatever else it is that's put out there. And here's the reasonable thing that you might ask yourself is that you might start saying like, well, that's great, Taylor, but like, what if I do want to write a book? Like, are you saying like I shouldn't write a book now? Like, should I give up on the things that I enjoy? No, that's not what I'm saying. If you enjoy writing, and I'm assuming if you're on Substack, you enjoy writing, then write the book. Or if you enjoy reading, you might be on Substack to read, that's fine. Read, whatever. But like, do it because it brings you an intrinsic sense of joy and mission and purpose. Don't do it because you're trying to get someone else's approval. Because trying to get someone else's approval, being like I'm going to show you that I could do this, and you're going to suddenly respect me. You know what it really speaks to? It speaks to the fact that there's probably a lack of respect towards yourself from you. And guess what? Nobody else can give you that respect. You could have everyone in the world come up and give you a gold star and give you an attaboy. And if you don't fundamentally respect yourself, it doesn't matter how successful you are, because that success will never be enough. Genuine and real success is not performative. It's not about proving something to other people. It's something that is within you. Lately, I've been doing a journaling exercise, and this has been really good for me. In my journal, what I do is I write down what I'm proud of myself for accomplishing on a given day. So like today, as an example, it was yard work was one of the things. It was yard work, it was finances, it was, there were a couple other things, but those are the first two items of the day. No one else sees that journal. I mean, I'm sharing it on here with you guys, but it's not because I want your approval or anything like that. Like, I could care less. It's me recognizing like, hey, I did yard work today. That was important to me. I needed to get that done. And I did it. And it was allowing myself to appreciate, I did this yard work. I took care of my house. I took care of something that's important to me. Same thing with finances. It was like, I had my money date. I went on a date with money. We talked, and I discovered something really fascinating in that during that date, which I might share another time. But the important thing is that I took the time to do that. And it wasn't about performative success. It wasn't about like, no one else is going to care that I spent time working on my finances. If, nobody else is going to care that I did that yard work. Nobody else is going to care that I spent some time writing today or doing any of the other things. And most people probably won't even care about this video. Like, some people will. Some people might like it, approve it, whatever else. And that's great. And I mean, if something lands with you and you respond to it, I will certainly reply back, because that's awesome. Like, I want that sense of community and co-regulation with all of you. But my point is like, even if you heart this video, maybe you're like, yeah, I really appreciated what Taylor had to share today. Great. That landed with you. And that's your own journey right there. And maybe you and I end up going on a journey together. Maybe we end up coaching, I end up coaching you. Maybe we work together or whatever else. That's awesome. And at the end of the day, if I based my reason for doing this video on how many hearts and comments it got or didn't get, like, that would stop me from showing up fully and presently. Because at that point, I'm performing. I'm performing for something. I'm trying to chase after something. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired of chasing after things. Like, I've done that for enough of my life. I'm 48 years old. I'm almost 49. And I can look back at my life and say, you know what? I've chased after a lot, and some things I've gotten. And none of it really brought me a sense of satisfaction. It wasn't until the last couple of years of my life, because of all the things that I've been doing for me, and really choosing to have a proactive and healthy relationship with myself, that things started to change. And then I was suddenly like, oh, This is something I really appreciate for me. I'm doing this for me. I started to choose myself. I don't honestly think that we can really choose other people until we learn how to choose ourselves. And this is one of the reasons why success as a performative measure doesn't work, because with success, essentially we're choosing someone else's approval over recognizing ourselves. But we're never going to get that. Not really. Like I said, again, even if somebody does that, they don't want to do that all the time. It's exhausting. Like, nobody wants to basically sit there and tell you all day long, you're amazing, you're awesome, you're perfect. I just love being in your light, everything else. Like, that's essentially what performative success is, though, when we look at it. So at this point, you might be asking, okay, so do I not chase after success? Like, or do I not shoot for success or whatever? Like, what are you really telling me here? Here's what I'm saying. Define success for yourself. What does success mean to you? What does it mean to be successful? And I'm going to encourage you to let go of performative measures. So, like, if you're like, well, success means to me that I make $80,000 a year, let that go for a moment. Or success to you is like, I'm dating that really hot person over there, let that go. If success is, I did X, Y, and Z, let that go. Like, what does success mean to you outside of the external markers? Does success mean, for example, that you genuinely care about yourself and love yourself? I would argue now that that is success. That being successful is actually taking the time to take care of yourself and care about yourself enough to actually, like, advocate for what you really want and to show up for yourself. Because when you can do that, then you're going to be able to show up better for the people in your life anyway. But that's what success looks like. Like, if you don't want to live a checked out life, success could just very well be, I'm showing up for myself. And here's the thing, I'm not saying, like, for example, don't have money goals or anything like that. Like, I have a money goal right now where I'm like, I want to make 10K a month. Like, that's my money goal. But it's not to get someone else's approval. It's because I really would just like to have that much money coming in each month. That would feel really good for my overall life standards and comfort and happiness and everything else. And would it create a sense of success? Yes. In the sense that I've earned that I've worked for that there's something there. But the thing that I would separate out is that the 10K is not a validation of me as a person. Like, okay, I make 10K, suddenly I'm valid. No. I might not get to that point where I'm making 10K right away. And I might. I'm certainly doing a lot of work on the mindset. I'm working on different systems and processes, all that other stuff right now. I might. And if I don't make 10K this month, that doesn't make me feel less successful. It just means that there's room for some changes. There's things that I can adjust and change and transform. That's the other thing. Like, let's look at success realistically and say that success is really about achieving specific outcomes. Well, the outcomes you achieve or don't achieve are signals to you as to what is working or not working in your life. So, like, if you don't get something, don't treat it as like, oh, I'm not good enough. You could, but that's you defaulting to that wound that is defining your life at that point. And do you really want it to define your life any further? Instead, try this. Okay. Yeah, I didn't make 10K a month. What could I do differently this month then? What could I do differently next month? What is it that I could change or transform? What's the process here? What am I missing out on? Focus in on that. Get curious, learn, discover, and use that as a way to help bring some sense of purpose to what you're doing. But even when you make the 10K a month, don't then just be like, oh, okay, I made 10K a month, suddenly I'm good enough. Just be like, okay, I made 10K a month. That's cool. I feel really good about everything I've done, and I feel like it's like, I feel good about the fact that I've really come through for myself in that way. Let that land, and then see if you can stick with it, and if you can consistently at that point, then maybe change your benchmark. So let me be clear. I'm not saying don't live without benchmarks in your life. Don't be like, oh, I don't want results. Now I shouldn't want results or anything. Like, if you want results, then go after results. But don't let the result be the reason you feel good about yourself. Feel good about yourself regardless of the result. Use the result as an indicator as to what you can work on or improve or transform or change. Great. But success honestly can be that you got through another day alive. And some people might say, well, that's a low bar. For some people, it isn't. Like this month is September. It's National Suicide Awareness Month. I really think we should just have National Suicide Awareness all year long, right? But National Suicide Awareness Month. So for some people, they could be in a really bad spot, and getting through the day that is success right there, because they cared enough about themselves to continue going. And again, I say this from experience because I've been suicidal. I've been in that place, not for a few years now, but I mean, when I think about it, like 4.5 years ago, April of 2021. Yeah, I was feeling suicidal. I wasn't in a good space. I ended up divorcing my second wife because I wasn't in a good space, and I realized that staying in that environment was unhealthy. And there were a lot of reasons for it. A lot of it was choices that I'd made, things I'd done, and that was my onus to bear. And some of it was other things. Doesn't really matter. It's old history. But the point is like that's where I was. And for me, success was getting up each day and getting into my car and driving around delivering food. That was my version of success for a while, and that was okay. That was good enough. For some people, that's what success is. So success can be a lot of different things. And really at the end of the day, like I think success is really just, let's let go of the performative 4-letter version of it, of like, you've got the White House with the picket fence and the 2.5 kids and the 2 cars and the pet and all that other silliness. Success is that you're here. You're alive. You're in the world. Success is what you make of the choices. So do you want to continue reacting to your old wounds, to your traumas, to your past, or do you want to choose a different direction? If the answer is I want to choose a different direction and you need help with that, well, later on after this video, if you go down below, you can click on the link for one-on-one coaching and let's talk. Or you can reply on here right now, since I see I have one person live, and I'll be more than happy to help you out if that's what you want. We can talk. But success is not something we have to chase after. Success, we can simply receive success. And I invite you to do that. I invite you to start taking care of yourself. Not because you're going to get an attaboy or because someone's going to pat you on the head or anything, or all the other performative measures out there, but because you actually genuinely care about yourself. Honestly, success for me sometimes is that I got a full night of sleep. I took care of myself, I loved myself enough to take care of myself in that way, so that the next day I could get up and do whatever it is that I decided to do and show up fully present, like regardless of what happened or didn't happen. And yes, I realize there are some people out there that are going to watch this and say like, well, he's not trying hard enough, or he's he isn't around the right people. You know what? I'm around people that are really amazing and awesome and wonderful, but that's not the point. Stop chasing after success. Figure out what your success is, what it means to you, and then receive it. Do whatever you need to do, but don't chase after like the approval. Don't chase after someone giving you that attaboy or anything else like that. That's not success. That's just playing a game that no one wins. All right, thanks for watching. If you're feeling called, there is a link below to grab a one-on-one session with me. I'd love to connect with you. and talk with you about whatever's going on in your life. And in the meantime, stay strong, brother. Take care of yourself, love yourself, care about yourself, co regulate with other men. We'll talk about that more later.